6 currency pairs are setting up perfectly this week, and one of them could move over 200 pips. Let me show you why. So starting off with CAD JPY. So CAD JPY is an interesting one. The weekly time frame is bearish. This is the lower low and this is the lower high. That's how I make my structure. So, and for this week, I'm anticipating a weak fill for a bearish candle to fill and body close under here. So if we move down to the daily time frame, is also bearish and has retraced back to this area of interest, and you can see this is a very strong rejection candle, doji, rejecting previous structure points, rejecting around psychological level, and this is a very strong area of interest because it serves as support here, serve as support here. So if we move down, we serve as support. So now we are under and price came back to retest it with rejection candle. So I'm looking for push down to continue the sell. And also the 4-hour time frame, is also bearish. This is the lower low, this is the lower high, and you can see a lot of accumulation candle here rejecting this zone with rejecting EMA. So if we move down to the 30 minutes is where I'm looking for my entry, although before price close last week we already have a shift of structure. So what I'm looking for a little more push to the downside, then a retest, then engulfing candle before I sell. Then my stop loss is above this place and my take profit is 1:2.5. So that is that. And let me go next is euro card. So euro card on the weekly time frame, we are bullish on the weekly time frame. So we are bullish on the weekly time frame. This is the higher high here and this is the higher low. So price has broke above this support and resistance zone, so with a little rejection. So it will be clear. Go to the daily, you see it is clear on the daily. So whenever we are under, we serve as resistance. Whenever we are under, serve as resistance. Whenever we are up, we serve as support. So this is a very strong zone. It's a very strong zone. So price has rejected here, so I'm waiting for a continuation buy to take the trade long, and stops to be a little bit above here, then you take profits next structure point. So that is that on this. And the 4-hour time frame is clearly bullish. You can see it's clearly bullish. Created something like an inverted head and shoulder. You can see left head, right shoulder. So now we are coming back to retest the neckline with rejection candle to take the trade up to the upside. More like here, TP can be here 3.5. So that is that on euro card. So moving on to the next is euro USD on the weekly time frame. This pair was part of my watch list last week, so waiting for a pullback, a weak pullback like this, and on this pullback I'll get the daily. The daily will have a retest. The daily will have a push to the upside, but the daily did not push. It just keep on going to the downside. So what do we have here on the weekly time frame? The weekly time frame, we are bearish. You can see we have lower low and lower high. So price has broke below this zone. this zone. So I'm anticipating a weak fill again this week. I'm anticipating a weak fill this same week to get a weak fill like this, a weak retest of this place before we now have the push to the downside. So if we go down to the daily time frame, the daily time frame will have this reject, will have the fill of this candle rejecting this zone, although it's currently rejecting this zone, but I want the candlestick to close inside this zone. You can see whenever we approach this zone, we close inside the zone before we have the push. We close inside the zone, we have the push. We broke retest, close inside the zone, we have the push. We broke under, close inside the zone before we have the push. So I want a candlestick to close inside the zone. If you don't have a candlestick that close inside the zone, so it will be a missed trade for me. So, and if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, you can see we are bearish. So on the 1-hour time frame, I'm expecting, you can see we already have a shift of structure. You see we already have a shift of structure. This is the high, previous higher high, this is higher low. So immediately body, a candle body close below this zone, we created a new lower low. So I'm waiting for a retracement, and on this retracement a candle will close inside here. So the next day, which is Tuesday or Wednesday, then I'll take the trade down for a quick 1:2.5, for a quick 1:2.5. The take profit will be on the daily. So 1:2.5 will be around here. Okay, so moving on to Euro JPY. So Euro JPY is another interesting one. On the weekly time frame, you can see the weekly time frame, we are bullish on the weekly time frame, but price seems not to create a new higher high, because it's as if it's creating the potential head and shoulder. So if you see potential head and shoulder, left head, then potential right shoulder, more like a break, more like it's having the break of the neckline. So but that is that. So what I'm waiting for, I'm anticipating a weak fill also, for this week to have a pullback here, a little pullback, a weak pullback, then the candlestick that will fill this to create a new lower low. I'll be very conservative with this. So also price will have to refill this candle, retest the EMA, previous structure point and other things before I'll take the trade down. And if you see on the right, on the daily time frame, you see this is a very strong area of interest. So now the daily is bearish and the 4-hour also is bearish. So you see the 4-hour also is bearish. So what I'm waiting for on Euro USD is kind of the same thing, because we have the euro in both of the pair. You see Euro USD and Euro JPY. If I flick through the both of them, you see because of the euro that is there. So what I'm expecting here is still the same thing, more like a push before we have the sell down, right? So something like this before we have the sell down. So that's what I'm waiting for anyone. So one of them will give me a perfect 3, more like 2.5, something like this. Okay, so moving on to AUD/CHF. So AUD/CHF, on the weekly time frame, we are bearish on the weekly time frame. You see The weekly, this is the lower low and this is the lower high. So price has been consolidating here since last year April. So now we've pulled back to this place, although I've been looking for entry around this place, but price seems not to respect my area of interest and my entry criteria. So what did last week do? So last week you have a very ginormous bearish engulfing candle engulfing eight weeks about 8 weeks, so which is a strong indication that we are rejecting this zone. So if we move down to the daily time frame, so you see daily time frame, I mark 3 area of interest. So the daily time frame, no, 2, because this is like a support zone the price is reacting from right now. So if we have a push to this place with rejection, I'll take it down. This here will be my first take profit, then I'll take it down. But if price did not respect here, because here is a very strong area of interest, we have 1 rejection, 1, 2 and 3, very strong, coupled with round psychological level. So coupled with round psychological level, so 56,000. So copy around psychological level, we have the retest, we push here, then I'll take the trade down, very strong zone. So here is another place again. If price broke above here, price is not respect here, broke above here, then I'll still look for entry here. So this is another zone. You see 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection here, so or more like 4. So this is a very strong zone, so I'll take it here and take the trade to the downside. So that is that. On the daily, on the 4-hour time frame, you see we are also bearish. We are also bearish on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm waiting for a pullback rejection candle here to take the trade to the downside. So all time frame are going to the downside, which sets the odds in our favor. So moving on to the last but not the least, GBP/USD. So GBP/USD on the weekly time frame, you see the weekly time frame, we are bearish on the weekly time frame. We are bearish on the weekly time frame. So more like we have an head and shoulder here, but not the cleanest I'm seeing this week. More like head and shoulder. So more than I have the break. So more like I'll be very conservative in this pair. So you see the weekly we are bearish, lower low, lower high. So we are currently at a support price, is currently at a support level. So moving on to the daily time frame, you can see the daily time frame is also bearish, but is at this minor support and resistance. So whenever we are up, we are pushing up. Whenever we are up, we're pushing up. You see, whenever we're up, whenever we are under, we are rejected down. So it's a minor zone. So moving on to this place, if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame is bullish on the 4-hour time frame. See, this is the higher high, this one is the higher high, and this is the higher low. Very clear. So if I get a body candle close under here, then I have a retrace of this place and I'll take the trade, a very short sell to the downside, very short sell to the downside. So 1:2.5, more like okay, a very short sell to the downside. So if you notice my risk to reward, some of them are more than 1:2.5, but the minimum I normally aim for is 1:2.5. So anything above that is what the market is offering to me. So that is that, and those are the 6 pairs I'm looking out for. I've analyzed all these pairs here. This They are 26 in number, and these are the only pairs I find interesting, which is these 6 pairs. So these are them: 1 2 3 4 5 6. I just analyzed XCUSD and BTC, but I don't take three. So these are the 6 pairs. So if I want to group them now to arrange the pairs, so CAD JPY will be number 1. Yes, you, because you are waiting for the pullback. USD number 2, you are also waiting for the pullback. Then Euro JPY number 2, we are waiting for the pullback also. AUD CHF, still far. Euro card will be number 2. Euro card will be number 2. So GPP USD will be, okay, this is it. So this, I'm waiting for pullback to sell. This, I'm waiting for rejection to buy. And you can see, if you see this card now, if I'm selling this, then I'm trading. If I'm selling this, then I'm trading that the GPY is stronger while the card is weaker. And this euro card, if I'm buying euro, then I'm anticipating that the euro is stronger than the card is weaker, which is a good thing on these 2 pairs. So tomorrow I'll be showing you guys how I enter this trade using the 30 minutes, 1 hour or 2 hour time frame. So subscribe if you don't want to miss out. So see you guys in the next video.